The unthinkable is unfolding at the Etihad, on the blue side of Manchester. Could Manchester City's unprecedented reign of Premier League dominance be under threat? A club that has become synonymous with relentless success in recent years now appears more vulnerable than ever. The warning signs are clear. Their reign at the top might come crashing down in dramatic fashion this season. Is this the beginning of the end for Pep Guardiola's men? For the past half-decade, Manchester City have steamrolled through the Premier League, leaving a trail of dismantled opponents in their wake. Since Pep Guardiola took charge in 2016, they've claimed 6 out of 8 possible titles, including the last 4 in a row, a new record. Their slick style of play has been unmatched. Their possession-based style has made Manchester City a marvel to watch. The acquisition of goal machine Erling Haaland in the summer of 2022 elevated them to even greater heights. With virtually limitless resources from their Abu Dhabi owners and the best manager in the world, City have seemed unstoppable. But every empire must eventually face decline. The cracks in City's seemingly impervious armor are widening week by week. Normally so composed, they already appear unusually vulnerable just a quarter of the way into the new campaign. Uncharacteristic slip-ups, injuries to key players, and escalating off-field distractions are beginning to take their toll. Pep's relentless demands also seem to be wearing his squad down, both physically and mentally. Tactically, rivals have started to wise up, and the once impenetrable blue wall no longer strikes the same fear. For the first time in years, City's squad looks worryingly thin in key areas. The departures of key figures like Riyad Mahrez and, potentially, Julian Alvarez in recent seasons have left them without crucial experience and quality. Factor in long-term injuries to Rodri and recurring issues for players like Kevin De Bruyne and John Stones, Guardiola suddenly has serious problems to solve. Of particular concern is the fitness of De Bruyne, who has barely featured and already looks strained. Without him, City seems surprisingly blunt. Worse, Guardiola's once innovative tactics are becoming predictable, exposing City to familiar weaknesses. Rival Premier League managers have adapted to Guardiola's tactics by investing heavily in robust defensive midfielders and deploying deeper, compact defensive blocks to stifle City's build-up play. Mikel Arteta, in particular, appears to have cracked the code to counter Guardiola's master plan. If Pep cannot evolve his philosophy to overcome these emerging tactical challenges, City could face serious trouble. Adding to the pressure, the looming Premier League investigation into alleged financial fair play breaches casts a dark cloud over the Etihad. If found guilty, the club could face severe penalties, such as points deductions or expulsion, which would inevitably impact their performances and hand rivals an advantage. Meanwhile, City's dominance has prompted their rivals to rebuild and retool into formidable challengers. Arsenal and Liverpool, under Mikel Arteta and Arne Slot, have invested smartly, blending youthful energy with experience to mount serious title threats. Arne Slot has made an impressive start, injecting quality across Liverpool's squad with stars like Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Virgil van Dijk leading the charge. The Premier League has evolved into a fiercely competitive arena, and City no longer appear invincible as their rivals close the gap. City's recent struggles have seen them drop points against weaker teams, with defeats to Bournemouth and Brighton and draws against Newcastle and 10-man Arsenal denting their title hopes. A 4-0 loss to Spurs, marking Guardiola's first-ever 5-game losing streak, highlights their decline from dominance, leaving the Premier League title race wide open. Manchester City's reliance on Erling Haaland, once seen as a strength, is now becoming an Achilles heel. Despite breaking Premier League goal-scoring records and topping the charts this season, opposition defenders have adapted by double-marking him, exposing City's lack of creativity in his absence. Without Kevin De Bruyne's ingenuity behind him, City's attack looks blunt and predictable. Additionally, their struggles in central midfield without Rodri have been glaring, as they fail to control the tempo. Replacements like Mateo Kovacic and Ilkay Gundogan haven't replicated Rodri's influence, while John Stones' stint as a makeshift midfielder has faltered due to other defensive needs. Defensively, City's once impenetrable backline has shown worrying vulnerabilities. Key defenders like John Stones, Kyle Walker, and Ruben Dias are struggling for form and fitness, while youngster Jamie Simpson-Payne has had to step in but remains unconvincing. Guardiola's insistence on a high defensive line has left them exposed to counterattacks from pacey forwards, and Ederson's performances have been inconsistent. The defensive fragility, combined with mounting injuries, has undermined City's previously solid foundation, leaving them looking error-prone and unconvincing at the back. The physical and mental toll of competing on all fronts is also taking its toll on Guardiola's squad. Despite their depth, the relentless fixture schedule, compounded by European away trips, has left players fatigued and struggling for recovery time. By early winter, the demanding calendar is already beginning to drain City both domestically and in Europe, raising serious questions about their ability to sustain a title challenge across multiple competitions this season. Guardiola's relentless pursuit of every trophy as a point of pride may prove costly this season. Key players are already showing signs of fatigue, and maintaining title challenges without adequate rotation is nearly impossible. Liverpool, under Arne Slot, are in excellent form and could pose a significant threat, while Arsenal have gone unbeaten against City in 4 consecutive matches, even dominating with 10 men recently. Pep's philosophy of constant squad rotation, while effective in the past, now seems to disrupt the team's rhythm and cohesion. Only one player has featured in every match this season, with Guardiola frequently overhauling his starting 11. While injuries have contributed to this rotation, the lack of consistency in selection has impacted player confidence and fluency. City's squad depth, previously a luxury, now appears questionable, as new acquisitions have struggled to make an impact. The pressure to make history with a 5th consecutive Premier League title is beginning to weigh heavily on the squad. The mental strain of sustaining hyperfocus across multiple competitions is starting to show. After years of dominance, complacency and fatigue are creeping in a City attempt to maintain their elite standards. Unlike previous seasons, where challenges faltered, City now seem vulnerable under mounting pressure. Their summer recruitment has not provided the reinforcements needed to rejuvenate a squad battling physical and mental exhaustion. If Guardiola cannot address these issues, City's hopes of achieving further greatness could unravel. Manchester City's vulnerabilities have deepened this season, with limited impact from new signings like winger Savinho, who has yet to score since joining. The team's struggles have allowed Liverpool, Arsenal, and even Chelsea to close the gap, transforming the title race into a 4-way battle. Falling further behind in the race for a 5th consecutive title seems unthinkable, but Guardiola's side faces the stark reality that their dream of historic dominance could be slipping away. If City cannot mount another signature winning streak, this season might mark the beginning of their decline. The potential collapse of Guardiola's meticulously built empire could have lasting ramifications. His philosophy, once revolutionary, is now under scrutiny as City's flaws become more apparent. Financial fair play constraints limit their ability to revamp the squad, while Guardiola's 1-year contract extension raises questions about his long-term commitment. A fresh managerial perspective might be needed to spark a new cycle for City. Meanwhile, this shift in power could open the door for new forces like Manchester United, who appear resurgent under Ruben Amorim. City's dominance hangs by a thread, with their flaws exposed and rivals closing in. The Premier League landscape is shifting. Will they adapt or crumble? Only time will tell.